Bread is one of the most fundamental foods in human history, yet it often goes unnoticed in discussions about the development of civilization. Despite its simplicity, bread has played a crucial role in shaping societies, fostering trade, and even influencing economies. From the earliest grinding of wild grains to the modern convenience of sliced bread, the journey of bread is a fascinating one. It is a food that has been a staple for kings and commoners alike, crossing cultures, continents, and time periods. But where did bread really begin? And how did it evolve into the countless varieties we see today? Let's take a journey through the history of bread and explore its significance in human civilization. Early bread origins, prehistoric bread, the first steps. The origins of bread can be traced back at least 32,000 years, based on archaeological evidence of early humans grinding grains into flour. These early humans, living in areas ranging from Europe to Australia, used primitive grinding stones to crush wild wheat, barley, and other grains into a coarse flour. While these early people did not bake bread in the way we understand it today, they likely mixed the flour with water to create a simple paste that was then cooked over fire or hot stones, resulting in a crude form of flatbread. This practice was a major turning point in human nutrition, as it allowed for the consumption of grains in a more digestible form. The Natufians, the first true bread makers. While grinding grain was a significant development, true bread making likely emerged during the Epipaleolithic era, around 14,000 years ago. The Natufians, a prehistoric culture in the Levant region, were among the first known people to bake bread. They used wild plant roots, wheat and barley to create an early form of flatbread. These early bakers paved the way for more advanced bread-making techniques as humans transitioned from nomadic hunter-gatherers to settled agricultural societies. Egyptians, pioneers of fermentation. The ancient Egyptians were among the first to elevate bread making to a sophisticated art. By 8000 BCE, they had developed a form of unleavened bread similar to modern tortillas. However, they soon discovered the process of fermentation, which allowed bread to rise and become soft and airy. This happened when wild yeast from the environment fermented the dough, producing gases that made it expand. The Egyptians also developed early baking ovens, enabling them to control the baking process more efficiently. Bread became so central to Egyptian life that it was often used as a form of currency alongside beer to pay workers, including those who built the pyramids. Indus Valley Civilization, the birth of tandoor baking. Around 5,000 years ago, the people of the Indus Valley in present-day India and Pakistan were also making bread using vertical clay ovens called tandoors. These ovens, which are still in use today, allowed for high-temperature baking, producing delicious flatbreads with a slightly charred, smoky flavor. This innovation in bread making spread across Central and South Asia, influencing various regional cuisines. Greeks and Romans, the bread innovators. The Greeks took bread making a step further by refining the design of baking ovens. They developed freestanding, preheated ovens with access doors, allowing for better heat distribution. Greek bakers also experimented with different types of flour, producing a wide variety of bread. When the Romans conquered Greece, they adopted and further advanced these techniques. By 300 BCE, Roman bakeries had become commonplace and bread became a staple in the Roman diet. The Romans also perfected the use of sourdough starters and leavening techniques, laying the foundation for modern baking practices. The evolution of bread. Medieval bread, a meal and a plate. During the Middle Ages, bread remained a dietary staple across Europe. However, the type of bread people ate often depended on their social status. White bread, made from finely milled wheat flour, was reserved for the wealthy, while the lower classes ate coarser bread made from rye, oats, or barley. A unique feature of medieval dining was the use of trenchers, large stale pieces of bread that served as plates. Food was placed directly on the trencher, which absorbed sauces and juices. Once the meal was finished, the trencher could be eaten, given to the poor, or fed to animals. Industrial Revolution mechanizing bread production. The Industrial Revolution, which spanned from 1760 to 1840, brought significant advancements in bread making. Mechanized mills improved flour production, making white bread more widely available. In 1912, American inventor Otto Frederick Rohwedder designed the first bread slicing machine, though it wasn't until 1928 that sliced bread was commercially sold by the Chillicothe Baking Company. This innovation revolutionized bread consumption, leading to the phrase, "the greatest thing since sliced bread." World War II. The brief ban on sliced bread. During World War II in 1943, the US government briefly banned the sale of sliced bread to conserve resources such as wax paper, which was used for packaging, and metal, used for slicing machines. The ban was widely unpopular, with many Americans complaining about the inconvenience of having to cut their own bread. The government quickly lifted the ban after just over a month. Bread comes in countless forms across different cultures. Some of the most notable varieties include bolani from Afghanistan, a thin flatbread stuffed with scallions, potatoes or lentils. Pupusas from El Salvador, a thick grilled cornbread filled with cheese, beans or pork. Lefse from Norway, a soft potato bread often served with butter, cinnamon and sugar. Navajo fry bread from the US, a deep-fried bread with historical significance created from government-rationed ingredients. And damper from Australia, a simple bread originally made with flour, water and salt, often cooked over an open fire. Modern bread trends. Pandemic bread boom, 2020. A return to home baking. During the COVID-19 lockdowns of 2020, bread making experienced a major resurgence. With people stuck at home, many turned to baking as a comforting and fulfilling activity. Flour mills struggled to keep up with demand, and yeast became scarce, leading to a surge in sourdough baking. Social media, particularly TikTok, played a significant role in popularizing bread making, with thousands of users sharing their creations and techniques. Resurgence of artisanal and health-conscious bread. In recent years, there has been a growing preference for artisanal and whole-grain breads. Many consumers are moving away from mass-produced white bread in favor of sourdough, whole wheat and ancient grain varieties. Health-conscious individuals are also experimenting with gluten-free and low-carb alternatives, reflecting changing dietary trends. Conclusion: bread is more than just a food. It is a reflection of human history, culture, and innovation. From the grinding stones of prehistoric humans to the sliced loaves of modern supermarkets, bread has continually evolved alongside civilization. Despite the changes in how we produce and consume bread, its role as a staple food remains unchanged. Whether it's a simple flatbread cooked over an open flame or a gourmet artisanal loaf, bread connects us to our past and to each other. So, what's your favorite type of bread? Have you ever tried baking your own? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more food history content.